Now, our reporter Carlin B has been following up on this story ever since it started. And of course, let's talk to our reporter Carlin B now joins us live from a city center studio. B, good morning. And of course, it's not a good morning for most patients across the country, and especially from the counties that have been affected. And when we heard that story, you know, what you filed when it comes to the nurses' strike, Seth Panyako, Secretary General of the Nurses Union, says that they will not negotiate. All they want is that return to work formula implemented. What is the way forward? Because it looks like they'll be going against the court ruling.
Well, this morning I actually spoke to Seth Panyako, and he says that he's not aware of any court documents, any court order that actually suspended this strike. And so for them, the strike is still on, but in certain counties, and today 2 counties actually joined the strike, that is Marsabit and Homa Bay. As of yesterday, the strike in Nairobi was still on, but the county executives said that they were going to go into a meeting with the nurses, which they did, and by evening they had come up with deliberations, and part of it was that they have to pay their arrears before Friday of this month, and if that is not actually paid, then the strike is going to be on. So as of now, Nairobi County has suspended the strike. The nurses are back to work, but if nothing is going to be done by the county government in paying these nurses and their allowances together with other grievances, then the strike is going to continue. That is after Friday, the 8th of this month. And they actually say that a committee has been formed by both sides, the Nairobi County government and the Nurses Union in Nairobi branch, to be able to discuss other issues, other grievances that the nurses have. But in other counties, the strike is still on. This morning, when I spoke to Seth Panyako, he says that the strike is still on. Yesterday, the Council of Governors said that conciliation should go on, and a report is going to be produced in 30 days. As per the situation right now, nurses say that the strike is on. On the other side, the Council of Governors says that the court has actually suspended this strike. The Labour Relations Court has suspended this strike after they filed a petition in court. And this was a development that happened last evening at around 5:30 p.m. And there was a press conference that was addressed by the Secretary General, Seth Panyako. He said that when they go to the negotiation table, they are not going to do any other negotiation apart from the return to work formula. No fresh negotiations apart from there was the issue of the allowances and the uniform allowances for the nurses. So that is all they are going to push for, the implementation of that. Other than that, they are not going to engage in any mediation talks. So the conciliation talks which happened one day ago, part of the deliberations that was made is that the nurses have to present their submissions by Thursday. Then from there, they are going to continue with the deliberations. But as I have said, and as Seth Panyako said, if the deliberations are not going to be made and the return to work formula is not going to be implemented, then they are not going to engage in any talks. Also in other counties where the deliberations are ongoing, if at all they emerge fruitful, then this strike is going to be called off in those specific counties. As of now, we have Machakos, there's Mombasa, and there's Migori counties which did not engage in this strike after the governors paid the nurses the full amount as was indicated in the return to work formula of 2nd November of 2017, which has brought the whole contention. And these nurses are actually faulting the county government for not adhering to the signed return to work formula, which was signed on the 2nd of November 2017. And should the deliberations not become fruitful, then the strike is ongoing. But right now, the Nurses Union maintains that the strike is on. They are not aware of any court suspension of their strike. Brenda?
So, B, are we seeing a situation by if Seth Panyako and his team, those are the Nurses Union officials, are given the court order, are they likely to call off the strike?
Well, Seth Panyako says that if at all they are going to be given any documents, then from there they will make a decision. But as of now, no one has presented them with any court orders. Not even the Council of Governors has reached out to them. So from what he knows is that the strike for the nurses is still on. In fact, 2 counties joined the strike today. That is Homa Bay and Marsabit counties. And earlier on, he had given a list of how the strike was going to unfold in various counties. On the first day, there was a total of 12 counties counties that joined the strike on 6th, which is today. There's also another list of counties which will join the strike on 11th, and on 18th. There's another team of counties which will be joining the strike, and a total of that is that 18 counties will be joining the strike in the course of the week. And so therefore, if at all no court papers are presented to the nurses, as Seth Panyako says, then the strike is still on. If at all they are presented with the court papers, then from there they will be able to have deliberations and make their decisions and maybe issue a statement concerning that. But as of today, not even Seth Panyako is ready to give a statement, simply because for them the nurses are still on strike. But remember that for the counties where the talks are ongoing and maybe they have decided with the counties on how to go by to sort out these grievances, then the strike is has already been suspended, or it means the strike is ongoing, but they are going to see the way forward. For Nairobi, as I have said, the strike has been suspended after the county government promised to pay the nurses their full arrears, but the deliberations are ongoing. If at all the county government does not abide by their promise, then the strike will go on. Brenda.
All right, and Caroline, there's so many viewers are wondering how come these counties, because we've seen counties like Mombasa have paid their nurses, implemented the agreement they signed with the nurses. So some of our viewers are wondering, why are some of the county governments so reluctant in implementing the 2017 Return to Work Formula Agreement?
Well, let me give you an example of Elgeyo Marakwet County, where I have been following how this strike has unfolded. The nurses stormed the offices of the county government yesterday, and when they met with the governor says, you know, we don't have money to pay you people, so you are not more important than other health workers. And the governor, that is Alex Tolgos, says that, you know, we also have other health cadres in this county. We have doctors, we have the clinical officers, and of course we have you nurses. That does not mean that nurses are more important than all these other professionals in the health ministry. Another example is Nairobi County. Nairobi County says that in their budget they had set aside money to cater for the grievances of these nurses for their allowance. But the problem, as according to the nurses, is that every time they call for a meeting, the county government does not show up. It was not until yesterday when they protested just outside the county government offices is when the county government said, we are going to sit with you and see the way forward. So there are various reasons that counties are giving. For instance, if we give Mombasa, Machakos and Migori, which suspended the strike, for them it wasn't a problem. They decided to pay the nurses fully based on the return to work formula, which was signed on 2nd of November. So there are different reasons as to why nurses are actually, as to why the county governments are not paying these nurses. There was also Kisii, Kisii County, which issued a letter to the nurses union, and they gave, apart from giving reasons as to why they took long to not to pay the nurses, they also said that at the end of it all they will have to pay the nurses, since they also have money in their coffers for that issue. So there are quite a number of reasons that different counties are giving. Other than not having money, some are saying that the nurses are not being sincere in the deliberations, but the talks are ongoing, the conciliation meetings are ongoing. They're going to be presenting their grievances to the conciliation committee before tomorrow. Then from there they will see how to sort it out. But they're not going to negotiate afresh. All they want is a return to work formula to be implemented as was signed in 2017.
All right, thank you so much, Caroline B, for that detailed report. Our reporter Caroline B has been keeping tabs with that story. And still on that story, let's move to Kisumu, where our reporter Kevin Ogutu is camping at the Kisumu County Hospital for the latest. And Kevin Ogutu, thank you so much for joining us here on KTN News Center. What is the situation like there in Kisumu County?
Very good morning, Brenda. Kisumu County Hospital, where I'm standing right now, is still really suffering from the failure of the implementation of return to work formula of November 2nd of 2017. And just to explain a bit about that, we still don't have the nurses coming here to report to work, regardless of the directive given by the court suspending the strike for 60 days to allow for the negotiation, courtesy of the intervention by praised by the Council of Governors. And therefore, earlier on, I managed to do a spot check, going to various wards here, and they are all they don't have nurses as such. So that is the situation as it is right here at the Kisumu County Hospital. And I've also managed, Brenda, to have with me here one of the patients here known as Florence Awino, and we'll probably get to hear from her how she's sick. She's told me that she's suffering from a backache, and this is the first time that she's coming to this particular facility to get the service. And I would like to get from her how it has been for her trying to get the service right here. Karibu kwenye KTN News. Labda utueleze umeshughulikiwa vipi tangu wakati ulipokuja hapa hivi?
Nishaenda pale kwa dirisha nikachukua kadi, hii risiti niko nayo mkononi. Wakaniuliza kama nimeregister. Nikawaambia nisha register. Hakuna kitu yote nimelipa. Sasa niko na matumaini ya kupata matibabu.
Kwa hivyo utaratibu ni upi? Umeambiwa kwamba baada ya kufanya jinsi umefanya utaweza kupata huduma, ama wauguzi wenyewe hawako?
Wamekubali eti wanaweza wakanihudumia. Sasa sijui kwa sababu ni mara yangu ya kwanza. Sasa sijui vizuri. Ni mara ya kwanza.
Na labda kuna sababu umeamua kuja hapa lakini si kwingine, ama ni vile unatoka karibu na hapa? Labda unatuelezea, kwa sababu hospitali zipo lakini umeamua kuja katika Kisumu County Hospital.
Hapana, nikitoka kwa nyumba nilikuwa nimeamua kwenda Russia Hospital. Nikafika huko wakaniambia bila kadi ya NHIF hawatanitibu. Ndio nikaamua kukuja hapa. Ndio.
Okay, asante sana. Tunatumai kwamba utaweza kuhudumiwa. So, Brenda, that is it from Florence Awino, one of the patients here at Kisumu County Hospital. Remember, yesterday in an address to journalists, the Kisumu County CC in charge of health said that there are about 300 nurses on contract who had joined the colleagues who are on permanent basis will be suspended, will be really be fired because they had already contravened what was there in the contract. So as it is right now, Brenda, the county is really grappling to provide this particular service, given that the core components when it comes to matters health provision, that is the nurses, are on strike, and regardless of the court order suspending it for 60 days, the situation here at the Kisumu County Hospital is as bad as it can be. So that is the match that we have here. Of course, we also got to hear that some of those who are on strike were planning to flash out whoever was going to report to work as directed by the court, but that is yet to happen. So we are also keeping tabs on that, just in case something of that kind happens, then we let our viewers know. Back to you in studio, Brenda.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin Ogutu, for that report. So let's cross over to Mombasa and talk to an official of the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Mombasa branch. That is Peter Maroko, who's joining us from Mombasa County. And when is this strike likely to come to an end, now that the court has given an order for the strike to be suspended, to be called off, and parties to go to the negotiating table?
Yeah, from yesterday, we had our General Secretary saying that the strike will continue irrespective of the court order, because all the the strike notices were served to respective counties, and therefore we are not employees of the Council of Governors. So all branches which are on strike so far will continue on strike until when they have an agreement or the counties have paid the said allowances.
As much as Mr. Maroko, but as much as you're remaining adamant that the strike will continue until your grievances are heard and implemented, but on the other hand, there is a court order that needs to be implemented.
This court order is was between the Council of Governors and our officials, our national officials. So what I'm saying is that if you look at that court order is from the Council of Governors that went to court, not the respective counties that are on strike. And as I've already said that we are workers with various counties. If the Council of Governors really wanted to stop this strike, they would have gone to individual counties, and every county that is on strike would have gone to court on its own, so that they can serve each branch as it's required. Because
Maroko, what you're telling us, allow me to cut you short, what you're telling us this morning is that the Council of Governors went to the court, and parties interested parties in this case is the Kenya Nurses Union officials, and not union officials at the affected counties. So far as you're concerned, the strike at the 18 counties will continue as it has been.
That is the position, yeah.
All right. Now, my question is, then why do you think the 18 county governments have been reluctant in implementing the 2017 Return to Work Formula Agreement?
Those counties that have really refused to pay are citing the SRC's no objection letter that has not been issued. But you see what Mombasa did, what Machakos did. The latest is Kuala has paid. So there's no any other reason that the counties can give with that they will not pay if these other counties have paid. If they want to actually address this issue of the strike, they should look at what the other counties have done, and they follow suit.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Peter Maroko, an official of the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Mombasa branch, talking to us about this nurses strike. We'll wait and see what happens at the end.